Yo, what's good people? Today we're going to be talking about Raven's new crouch step input, which is down forward 3+4. So they actually added it into the move list as a separate attack. Now he did have crouch step in the move list before, but if we go to down forward 3+4, you can see now it says crouch step. And if you see in the kind of description, it says all while crouching, and that is a slide input. So it's while crouching, down forward, down, and then hold down forward. So this is what it looks like in crouch. As you can see, this is his crouch step, and this allows him to do stuff like full crouch sweep, while standing 2, so on and so forth. Before we get into the video, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, like it help with the algorithm. Commenting will also help with the algorithm, and subscribing will let me know that you enjoyed the content. Let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, I'm actually going to put the command history on so you can see what I'm pressing, and also the frames, because that will show us the status, which is important here. So when we do crouch step, right, I want to just distinguish the difference between crouch dash and crouch step. So crouch dash is his shadow sprint, which is, if we go back into the move list, we can see his shadow sprint is down, down, forward, forward, as you can see here, right? So this is actually a move in the move list. It's a movement technique, and also in the description, which is really useful for new Raven players and Raven players that just want to optimize his movement, is that it says during crouch step you press forward. So okay, let me show you crouch step, right? So the easy input now for crouch step is down forward 3+4, even though we can do it in crouch, but I'm gonna kind of showcase these movement techniques from the standing crouch step. So crouch step, hold forward, you access QCF moves now. So that's what that description means. So if we go back to shadow sprint, you can see holding forward from crouch step. So even the move list tells you that crouch step is not the same as crouch dash, which is shadow sprint, right? Shadow sprint and crouch step are not the same movement techniques, and they're not the same input either. So please understand the difference between crouch dash and crouch step. Shift to shadow sprint if you hold forward during crouch step. Now, you can do down, down, forward without the forward to kind of access while standing moves. So what that means is if you do down, down, forward, neutral, you can access like while standing 2, while standing 4, while standing 3, you know? So if I press down, down, forward, forward and press 2, I'm not going to get while standing 2. I'm going to get QCF 2 and QCF 1 and QCF 3+4. Even though QCF 3+4 is not really an input, it's actually while standing 3+4, but you can access while standing 3+4 by doing QCF 3+4. So that's another kind of tip I would say, but this is important. So again, we're going to go back to crouch dash. So crouch dash is down, down, forward, forward, right? Access QCF moves, QCF 4, for example. I want you to pay attention to the status. Now, when I do down, down, forward, he's in crouch, right? But then when I press forward, he returns to stand. That's why you can still do QCF moves from crouch step, because if I press forward after crouch step, I can now do QCF 1. I can now do QCF 2, right? Now this is important because now we're going to kind of chain these inputs to do stuff like QCF 1+2 from crouch step. You see? If I do that in crouch, it's not going to work. I have to press forward to return to stand, as you can see. And it's the same with easy crouch step. So I'm going to press down, forward 3+4, and then shift to forward to return to stand, and then press whatever button I want to get a QCF input, right? So that's important. Now we're looking at crouch step. So crouch step, if you just press a button from crouch step, you will get a while standing input because it transitions him into full crouch. So you get while standing 2 here, while standing 3, 2, so on and so forth, but it does have a delay. Now we can get around this delay by chaining his crouch dash with his crouch step. So that was 2 movement techniques in one. So that's a crouch dash, which is QCF. And remember, you must return to stand in order to do a crouch step after crouch dash. It's very confusing because crouch step and crouch dash, they sound the same. They look similar, but they're not the same. So please just go into practice mode and kind of play around with crouch dash and what you can do with this. So you can actually cancel crouch dash with sidestep. See? So this is kind of the technique that I would go for in matches. But now what's cool is that we can do crouch dash into crouch step, right? So imagine you can full crouch sweep people from around this distance, which is insane. You see how far it goes, right? And I can extend the range a little bit more by doing 2 crouch dashes like this with a side step cancel, and then doing a crouch step. See? So he has even better space control, because Draven always did have good space control with his, you know, crouch dash input and crouch step. Obviously, previously we did have to be in full crouch to access this. So a common kind of technique or strategy to kind of get that full crouch sweep off was to do this, but it's slow. Now we can full crouch sweep very quickly with either crouch step or crouch dash into crouch step. Super quick, right? So this is why I'm saying it's really important for us Draven players to start getting used to going from crouch step into standing to get QCF moves, or you can do, which isn't detailed in the move list, is you can do standing moves that have a direction. So down forward 1, down back 2, down 4, up forward 4, down forward 4, for example, right? Now we can do this from either crouch dash, right? So we can press QCF down forward 4 to extend the range of moves, or to add it into kind of mix up arsenal, right? So if you're like crouch dashing and then into crouch step, down forward 2, right? So we can add standing moves into the mix because we can return to stand by pressing forward. So it can be super strong once you get used to it. You see, like you can be super tricky with this. So you see why this is crazy, because you can mix in your crouch dash cancels with sidestep, with crouch step, and you can even kind of mix in the full crouch version as well. So all three movement techniques have their uses, and it's kind of about how you chain them together and how you become more unpredictable with your mix-ups. It's kind of just, it's really insane. Let's touch upon the bug. I guess it's a bug because obviously in season 2 they allowed sidestep from crouch. Now previously Draven could not sidestep right after this move on player 1 side, right? So as you can see, I'm sidestepping right after down 4, which was just not possible in season 1 or in any other iteration of Tekken. So with this new sidestep into the foreground technique, it kind of did mess up Draven's full crouch kind of crouch step cancels, because now look what it does. It's weird. Like it's still possible, but sometimes it will just stutter or make you stand up like this. So it is still doable like this, but the window is really tight. And even for myself, I don't really tend to go for this movement technique. I would rather do his, you know, his crouch dash cancels with sidestep as opposed to his crouch step wave dash. Now the thing is, because of down forward 3+4, I don't actually need to do his crouch step wave dash anymore, because I can just kind of chain it in with my regular cancels that I usually do anyway. So I think us Draven players need to get used to using this a little bit more rather than relying on this, because I don't see them fixing this. I think this kind of bug, this input bug, is because they added sidestep from crouch, and I don't see the Tekken team removing sidestep from crouch, and that is the reason why this movement technique is weird now. You see? The instances where I would use this movement technique in crouch with the crouch step cancels is, for example, you know, if I full crouch sweep and I want to change the timing of the second one, for example, I will use this. If I want to close the distance, if I've kind of cancelled my back turn with down back or down back 2 into down back as well to cancel it. Sometimes I'll use that technique. But other than that, I don't necessarily use this technique a whole lot. I just don't see the point of it when I find this one way more useful and I have way better control over this one. Like I just have infinitely more control over this movement technique over this one. Even though I can control this one just fine, I just find it more effective. Now, I see a lot of Draven players complaining and saying like, oh yeah, you can't do like 10 of these in a row. Personally, I don't think that's necessary. I feel like maybe 2 at a max 3 or 4 should suffice, right? So I think, yes, it does suck that this is less consistent. This movement technique here, the crouch step in full crouch, it is a bit more tricky to do, but honestly, I feel like just because they added down forward 3+4, it kind of softens it a little bit and allows us to still use this movement technique. Now look how quickly I can do crouch dash into full crouch sweep. and the range is insane, right? But then I can mix you with this with while standing 3+4, or I can still do his QCF 1+2, because as I said, you can hold forward after down for 3+4 and press QCF 1+2, right? So you can get this from like super far away, and this is +5. You see, so this movement technique is insane. Like, yeah, the mix-up potential now is crazy. Before I close the video off, I do want to kind of go over some instances where I would use this for Oki, because they did kind of kill Raven's Oki a little bit in season 2, right? So I want to just go over 2 situations: back turn forward 1+2 parry and generic 1 throw. So he has Oki in both these situations, but I want to show you the situations on successful parry. So I can parry this. So usually what I would do is to catch side rolls and back rolls, I would do forward, forward, 4. But they made this very difficult to do. Now it is still possible, but you have to be really sharp. So even then it whiffed. It does work, but you have to be super, super sharp. You see, like really early. But then that doesn't work if they hold back. So we're gonna do quick back roll and wake up backwards. You see, they can block it. Now, again, this does work after, you know, if they back roll. So it's super, super hard. You see, it does work, but you have to be so precise with the input now. It's just, I don't think it's worth going for, you see? And they can block it very easily. So what I like to do now is I like to do down for 3+4 to force a mix, because they have to eat that now. Yeah, they have to eat this mix. So the hell sweep will hit. So this Oki is very good, right? And as I said, if you chain your crouch dash into crouch step, it's super good. So yeah, those are the movement techniques that I wanted to kind of touch upon. I know this input is getting nerfed, or not nerfed, but it's bugged right now. It does feel a little bit bugged. So it's still very much doable, right? As you can see, but the inputs need to be really, really, really precise now. And which, to be fair, isn't a bad thing, but I think it's just very cumbersome to use now. Let me know what you guys think about down for 3+4 in the comment section below. Do you think it kind of softens the entry point to Raven a little bit, which I think is fine, but also it helps us Raven players who are, you know, character specialists use his movement a little bit more fluidly? So I'm a big fan of this change. I really like this movement technique, down for 3+4. And you know what I do like as well is that they did highlight like different techniques you can do. So if you look at Shadow Sprint, it gives you even more movement options, which is amazing. And I feel like this allows more players to get into Raven and understand his movement techniques a lot more, because I had to explain the difference between crouch step and crouch dash or Shadow Sprint a lot of times. I did one in Tekken 7, I've done one in Tekken 8, and still people don't understand the difference between them and how to use them and how to access them. But in the move list, it literally tells you what the difference is, how to access them, and what you can do out of it, right? So, you know, again, let me know in the comments what you think about down for 3+4. I'm personally a fan because the stuff you can do is just insane. But yeah, those are my thoughts and feelings on the new input technique for crouch step down for 3+4. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.